Alright, so I went ahead and figured out what colors I like. So here's some. The main thing is that I've got this rainbow here, and so I need some, varied colors of rainbow. And I went ahead and kind of colored in what I can just to get a study. This is not just to be clear, this is not how you're going to color. We're just picking colors right now and we're making a color palette. So this is just an idea of how you're going to use these colors. I might decide I'm going to use them completely differently, but this is just an idea of the colors that we're going to use and how to pick them, and really just making sure that we've got a pretty well-rounded range of darks, mediums, lights, desaturated and saturated colors, and that's found in this saturation, more saturated, less saturated, warms and cools, which we can do that in, you can just say, for instance, we have purple. Purple is a color that could either be like a warm color or a cool color. So let's look at this color of purple and say I want to make that a little bit warmer. I'm going to go to the R for red, and we can bring in some red to that. Now it's a warmer purple, and this is a cooler purple. So you can adjust colors. You can say, okay, here's a random color and I'm gonna make it warmer or cooler. You can make a yellow more of a warmer greenish yellow, or an orangey yellow, right? So you can add red, green, and blue to things, and this is kind of a nice way to get some varied colors. Tints and shades. Say we have like a medium tone like this, and I can go to brightness, B, and I'm adding black, which you can see the old color and the new color there. And now this is a shade of that, so I could put that there if I wanted to include that color. The same thing if I want to make a tint of this color. I'm going to go in the other direction, and I can make it lighter. It's going to add white. So this would be more of a tint of this color. Go ahead and, as you're filling out this, look at how we create contrast by incorporating opposites, saturation and desaturation. This creates some contrast. The dark value there in the background, the light value on the top. And then warms and cools. Maybe more of a warm might be this one, right? So now they really contrast each other. So fill this out just so you can see how you're going to use these colors. When you start coloring, you can do it strategically. For instance, my rainbow is very saturated. It has a lot of really bright colors. So if I put a lot of saturated colors in the background, it would be a total mess. You wouldn't see the rainbow. So I'm using some desaturated colors, like this grayish, behind it, so that the rainbow has room to be its own color unit, separated from the background. This tea that's pouring out of the teapot is warm color, and it's against this cooler color. So here we're using warms and cools to kind of create contrast. I might want to think about using some cooler colors in the bird wing here, and or lighter values of light, as this brown is rather dark. How do I submit my template for the assignment? So let's go ahead and flatten your colors now that we have them with your template layer. My template is locked, so I'm going to unlock it, and I'm going to move it closer to here, and we're going to take multiple selections, shift click to select more than one layer, and then we're going to layer merge layers, Command E. I'm going to hide everything except for this one layer, and this is what you need to submit, just this one. Now this is in your source file, so it's really important that you don't flatten something here or mess up your source file, because you're going to be working on this later. And I can go ahead and delete all of this craziness over here. Take the selection tool, take all of this. My lovely guides are there to help me. You notice if I make a selection, it will snap to the guide. So that is why we made these guides there. And I'm on my color layer. I can delete all that stuff because we don't need it. And I'm going to just select only this area, the template, and I can just copy it. Why not? So edit, copy. And then we're going to make a new file. File new. And this is my name. And this is my color palette. And that's fine. We'll say OK. When you copy something and then you make a new file, the new file is the exact same size as what you copied before. So that's super handy. I'm going to paste. And now we have just the template that has filled in colors. And we're going to save this, save as. And I want to save it as a JPEG, so let's save it as a JPEG. And that is what you're going to submit for the swatches assignment, just the JPEG part of that. Let's go back to my source file because I don't want to mess anything up here. I've got my line work layer. May as well just keep these colors. Let's actually get rid of these colors now and revert it back to the way it was, because that's the size that it needs to be. Because we already have the other file with all your colors on it, so we actually don't need this anymore. So I'm just going to use the crop tool for C, and I can just cut all that stuff off, go away. And I have my nice guides there to help me keep it the right size, and then press enter. And now I have my original line work. You can see where I had colored, there's nothing in those layers anymore because I cropped that part off. The flower, I'm going to put it down below because I'm not using it. And now I'm just left with my line work. I'm just going to save this to update it. Save as, this is my sweets flavor, and this is my source file, and it's a Photoshop file. Then the video below is going to show you how to grab your colors from